Happiness. It always feels just out of reach, doesn't it? Some chase it through money, others through success, and some through relationships. But the truth is, happiness doesn't depend on what happens outside it. It depends on how we respond inside. What if I told you there are 7 keys, 7 Stoic strategies that can make you happy no matter the situation, even on your toughest days? Imagine waking up tomorrow and no longer being a slave to external events, facing problems, stress, even the worst moments, and still feeling calm, steady, and happy. Today, I'm going to walk you through these 7 keys, and I promise, they can completely change the way you live every single day. But before we dive in, I want you to do one simple thing. Comment below with the word joy, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. This is the first step to taking full control of your happiness, no matter what's happening around you. 1. Turn obstacles into allies. Most people see obstacles as problems, interruptions, or setbacks. Life throws challenges at everyone: failed projects, broken relationships, unexpected losses, stressful situations. But happiness doesn't come from avoiding these difficulties. It comes from learning to turn them into opportunities. Every obstacle carries a hidden lesson, a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Imagine a moment that feels unbearable. Most people react with frustration, anger, or fear, letting the situation control their emotions. But what if you paused and asked, what can I learn from this? What hidden strength or clarity is waiting here? That simple shift in perspective changes everything. Obstacles stop being enemies and start being allies, guiding you toward growth, self-discovery, and inner power. The Stoics taught that the universe doesn't work against you, it's neutral. It gives you exactly what you need to practice virtue, patience, courage, and wisdom. A difficult coworker, a sudden failure, a personal setback, these are not punishments. They are training grounds for your mind and character. Each time you respond to hardship with thoughtfulness and calm, you gain a small but lasting victory over your fears, frustrations, and limiting beliefs. Consider the difference between 2 people facing the same challenge. One complains, resents life, and feels like a victim. The other asks, how can I use this? How can I grow? How can I turn this moment into an advantage? The second person finds joy even in difficulty because they understand the ultimate Stoic secret. Happiness isn't found outside, it's created from within. When you start seeing obstacles as allies rather than enemies, your life transforms. Setbacks become stepping stones, failures become lessons, and every challenge becomes a chance to prove your strength, resilience, and courage. Happiness is not about avoiding storms, it's about learning to dance in the rain, to see opportunity in adversity, and to create joy no matter what happens around you. 2. Befriend your shadow. Most people fear their own negative emotions, anger, jealousy, shame, or sadness, and try to suppress them, thinking happiness comes from avoiding discomfort. But true happiness is born when you stop running from your inner shadow and start befriending it. Every uncomfortable feeling carries a hidden message, a hidden strength, or a hidden insight about who you really are and what you truly value. Instead of pushing away what makes you uncomfortable, pay attention. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to teach me? How can it guide me instead of controlling me? When you embrace your shadow instead of fearing it, you transform inner conflict into inner power. Anger becomes motivation, fear becomes clarity, shame becomes self-awareness, and sadness becomes depth. The Stoics understood that life is not about eliminating discomfort, it's about integrating it into your growth. By befriending the darker parts of yourself, you stop being a prisoner of fleeting emotions and start becoming the master of your own mind. Happiness is no longer dependent on avoiding pain. It emerges from using every part of yourself, even the parts you dislike, as fuel for strength, wisdom, and resilience. When you embrace your shadow, life's difficulties stop having the power to destabilize you. You carry a quiet confidence that comes from knowing even your worst emotions can be turned into allies, and this is what allows happiness to flourish in every situation. 3. Make time your ally. Most people treat time as an enemy, rushing, stressing, constantly chasing deadlines and milestones, thinking happiness will come once they finally arrive somewhere. But true happiness comes when you stop fighting time and start making it your ally. Every moment, even the most ordinary or difficult, carries potential for growth, clarity, and fulfillment if you learn to use it consciously. Life is short, but most people waste it worrying about the past or fearing the future. The Stoics taught that the present is all you really have, and mastery over your life begins when you learn to inhabit it fully. This doesn't mean avoiding planning or ambition. It means treating every second as an opportunity to practice patience, gratitude, and mindful action. Imagine approaching each day as a deliberate participant rather than a passive observer. Even in chaos, stress, or monotony, you can pause and ask, how can I use this moment wisely? How can I turn this time into something meaningful? Moments stop slipping away unnoticed, and life stops feeling like a series of obligations. Instead, every hour becomes a chance to strengthen your mind, deepen your understanding, and cultivate joy that doesn't depend on circumstances. When you make time your ally, you stop feeling rushed, anxious, or powerless. You begin to see the rhythm of life as something that works with you rather than against you. And this awareness, this ability to live fully in each moment, becomes one of the most powerful keys to happiness that no one can ever take from you. 4. Turn silence into strength. Most people fear silence, both the silence of the mind and the silence of the world, because it forces them to confront thoughts, doubts, and uncomfortable truths. But true happiness is found when you learn to use silence as a source of power. In stillness, you discover clarity, self-awareness, and the ability to respond instead of react. In a world that constantly demands noise, attention, and distraction, silence becomes a superpower. It allows you to reflect on your choices, to observe your emotions without being consumed by them, and to recognize patterns that usually go unnoticed. The Stoics believed that the mind, like a garden, grows stronger when given space to breathe. Without silence, thoughts multiply unchecked, and life's chaos overwhelms you. Imagine taking a few moments each day to simply pause, to listen to yourself without judgment, to observe what truly matters. In that stillness, fear softens, anger loses its intensity, and gratitude emerges naturally. Silence doesn't mean isolation. It means harnessing the quiet to reclaim control over your mind and your life. When you turn silence into strength, you no longer need external validation or constant stimulation to feel content. You begin to realize that the truest joy comes from mastering your inner world, and that even in the noisiest, most chaotic moments, you can remain centered, calm, and happy. 5. Treat loss as a gift. Most people fear loss, losing relationships, opportunities, or possessions, and see it as the enemy of happiness. But true happiness comes when you learn to treat loss as a teacher, a guide, and even a gift. Every ending, every goodbye, every failure carries the seeds of transformation and growth. The Stoics understood that nothing in life is permanent, and attachment is the root of suffering. When we resist the natural flow of change, we bind ourselves to frustration, disappointment, and regret. But when we embrace loss as part of life's rhythm, we discover freedom. Loss forces reflection, teaches resilience, and reveals what truly matters. Imagine losing something you thought defined you. Instead of despairing, ask, what does this reveal about my priorities? What strength or insight can I carry forward? In that moment, grief transforms into wisdom, emptiness transforms into opportunity, and endings become beginnings. When you treat loss as a gift, life no longer feels like a series of defeats or injustices. Every challenge, every heartbreak, and every moment of impermanence becomes a chance to deepen your understanding, strengthen your character, and find joy that doesn't depend on what you have. Happiness then becomes not something fragile or fleeting, but something rooted in acceptance, perspective, and growth. 6. Value depth over comfort. Most people chase comfort, easy decisions, shallow pleasures, and constant reassurance, thinking that happiness comes from avoiding difficulty. But true happiness comes when you choose depth over comfort, when you're willing to face challenges, explore difficult truths, and grow beyond what feels easy. The Stoics believed that a meaningful life is forged in discomfort, reflection, and deliberate effort. True joy doesn't lie in escaping reality. It lies in engaging fully with it. Every uncomfortable conversation, every moment of self-reflection, every decision that pushes you beyond your comfort zone is an opportunity to discover who you really are and what you are capable of. Imagine a life where you always pick what is convenient. You may avoid pain, but you also avoid growth, wisdom, and fulfillment. Now imagine choosing the path that stretches you, even if it's harder. You develop resilience, self-respect, and a profound sense of purpose. Happiness then becomes a reward of depth, not a byproduct of ease. When you value depth over comfort, you stop seeking constant approval, instant gratification, or external validation. You learn to appreciate challenges, to savor learning, and to find joy in moments that matter, not moments that are easy. The richer your inner life, the stronger your happiness, and the less any external circumstance can shake it. 7. Choose influence, not approval. Most people spend their lives seeking approval, likes, compliments, recognition, thinking happiness comes from being accepted by others. But true happiness comes when you focus on influence, not approval. Your energy is too valuable to be wasted on convincing the world you're worthy. Instead, channel it into living according to your values and making a real impact. The Stoics understood that external opinions are beyond your control, and basing your self-worth on them is a trap. When you seek approval, you give away your power. But when you choose influence, guiding yourself and inspiring others through integrity, wisdom, and action, you reclaim it. Influence is quiet but enduring. Approval is fleeting and shallow. Imagine living each day driven by your principles instead of the fear of judgment. You make choices that align with your true self, face challenges with confidence, and act with courage. Others may disagree, criticize, or misunderstand, but your happiness no longer depends on their approval. When you choose influence over approval, every action, every word, every decision becomes a reflection of your inner strength. You stop chasing external validation and start creating a life of purpose, respect, and lasting joy. Happiness, then, is no longer fragile. It becomes a product of living authentically, impacting meaningfully, and standing unwavering in your truth, no matter what happens around you.